Hello guys, welcome to our new problem. And in this session we will solve this problem which is of Microsoft interview question. It is not very hard, it is like a medium level question. So in this SQL problem we have given a list of projects and employees mapped to each projects. We can say so we have given a list of projects. The list of projects might be this data set and the employees mapped to each project might be this data set. So I have created the table and inserted the data. Now I'll show you how it looks like. First I'll just go to in the SQL database, just enter my password, selected the database. Now I'll show you the first table. So the first table consists of MS projects. Select star from MS projects. So for in first table we have particular ID and particular title of the project, the main of the title project, which is like a project one, project two, project three, and the budget for the particular project. You can see in first record the project one has a budget of 29,498. So we have a 20 rows of data set. So in this data set, and we have given a data. Now we can see another data set of table which is of MS employee projects. MS employee project. So in MS employee projects, so MS employee project is a employees data set. So in employees data set we have a particular ID of employee and we have a project ID. So we can say in the first table MS project we have a ID which is a primary key, and in the second the project ID is our reference key, or we can say foreign key. So we can join both the table. For first I will select the MS projects table, aliasing it as MP, join the MS employee projects, aliasing is at MEP on MP dot first primary key is ID and second foreign keys project ID, MEP dot project ID. So now we can say we have joined the both tables and we have a collection of data. We have the ID of the project, title of the projects, and budget of the projects in projects table, and we have the employee ID and project ID from the employees table. So we can say employee ID 10592, the employee 10592 has associated with the project ID of 1. So here we can say we have a list of numbers of employees who are working on a different projects, and those projects have a budget. So we can see this correlation of data, relational database, by using the join. So now in problem we have asked about calculate by the amount of project budget allocated to each employee. So we have to calculate by the amount of project budget allocated to each employee. So in this line we can say we can divide the problem into two set. First is calculate by the amount of project budget allocated, and the second one is to each employee. So we can say we have the problem in two frames. First we have to calculate amount of project budget allocated, and the budget should be for each employee. So in the next line they have said the output should include the project title and the project budget rounded to the closest integer. So in this the problem has the question has already said that we have what we have to make the output of. So we can just go ahead with this statement. So we have to calculate by the amount of project budget allocated. So first we will just take the title of the project. So title of the project is MSMP. It is from the MP tables because first three rows are from MP tables. You can say MP dot title, and we now have to calculate the budget allocated to each employee. So we can say we can take budget MP dot budget, and we can divide it by count of employee ID. So I have done this because we have to calculate the budget to each employee. So for each employee we have to calculate, so we can divide the particular budget to the number of employees working on it. So we can say a particular employee has a particular budget. So I have applied the aggregate function, so we have to use the group by. So I will use the group by. I will group by the id mp dot id, mp dot title, and mp dot budget. Okay, so now I have colon or comma mistake here. So now we can say we have the title of the projects and the budget of particular employee of each employee working on it. So we can say we can aliasing the particular MP budget count employee ID as budget per employee, and we can say I have grouped by the MP ID title, and so now we you can see I have grouped by the MP ID title and budget. So if one ID has the two projects of same ID and it has the budgets, so it will count the number of employees too. So it's like if the project 1 and the project 2 is also project 1, then from grouping the title it will calculate the 10592 and 10593 as an employee ID. So it will count the employee ID here and it will divide the employee ID by the budget if budget has the same for the two projects. So this is how I managed to count the number of each employee working on the projects. So we can order it by the order by budget per employee, order by budget per employee disk. So now we have the project 8 which have the 49,284 budget for per employee. So and same we have in the next row project 15 which has the 48,116 budget for each employee. So we can say in particular projects there are number of employees, so where each employee gets the budget of this. If the project 8 has had 5 employees, so the 5 employees are have 5 employees have 49,284 each for working on that project. So the project 8's total amount will be 5 into 49,000. So now in the second next step, it has also set the round to the closest integer. So we can say we can round the MP dot budget count to the closest integer. So we can remove the four zeros by rounding it to closest 0 comma 0. So now we have rounded, and in the second line it has said that order your list by projects with the highest budget per employee first. So we have already done it. We have already provided the budget per employee this in descending order by. So that's all guys from me. This is how we solve this problem. Bye bye.